Welcome back to the grind for an exciting video to discuss the spell details of the mythic dragons for SunScorch season. First, we will talk about Hahizen, or I'm not really sure how to say it, but very similar to Haset, so I'm going to call him Hahizen. This is a fire mythic hunter, and I'm really excited about this dragon and about the looks. Now, I'm also excited about the warrior, but you all know I am very much a sucker for hunters, so more than likely, if not 100%, I'm going to be getting Hahizen. So let's talk about the spells for this dragon. First, we have Adrift in Time, which is a passive spell, which causes the dragon to have increased flight speed. Also, the dragon's breath attack will cause towers to take increased damage. So this will be helpful for the dragon to destroy towers, because we'll see there's not really a spell specifically to destroy towers. Next is Temporal Anomaly, which is an active white one-rage spell where the dragon cloaks briefly, heals, and creates a waypoint. Once you recast the spell, it will teleport you back to the waypoint and heal again. Now, the waypoint will be there for 12 seconds, and after you return to the waypoint, there will be a 7-second cooldown before you can create another waypoint. This is very similar to Haset's Time Shift. A key difference is that this is a white spell, so it does not matter what mage towers might be present, you can always use this spell no matter what. But unlike Haset's Time Shift, while you are in this 12-second duration, you can still be attacked by towers because the cloak is only very brief at the very start of casting that spell, simply to dodge the initial shots and super shots. After that, you will be exposed until you time shift back or use Temporal Anomaly to take the waypoint back. Now, the next spell is Chrono Shift, which is an active blue 2-rage spell which acts like a cloak. So you can use this to protect yourself while you're waiting to use the recast to teleport back to the waypoint. Upon using Chrono Shift, you will be cloaked for 2.5 seconds and have increased ammo regeneration, and you'll be able to use ammo as well as cast Stasis during the cloak without breaking the cloak, and then it will have a 6-second cooldown. So during that cloak, you'll want to destroy a couple towers and Stasis a couple towers as well. And Stasis is a white 1-rage active spell that deals some damage to towers and disables them until they take damage again. And you have no cooldown on this spell, so this will be very similar to Noctarn's Snow Drift and Haset's Sand spell. So one way to approach flying this dragon is similar to how you would fly Haset, but you don't have to worry about blinking because you have a white cloaking spell. When you come around the corner, you will have to cast Stasis at the blue mage on the turn, but you can delay it to while you're facing the island because you do have this white cloak spell. If you're able to, you can unload a bar of ammo on a tower while you're turning the corner and at the last second cast Stasis, and then right before the towers hit you, you can cast Temporal Anomaly to briefly cloak and dodge those spells. Once the cloak ends, and the towers recognize you again, you can cast Chrono Shift because by then the blue mage will be disabled by the Stasis spell. And then you have 2.5 seconds to do a combination of unloading ammo on towers because you have increased ammo regeneration, as well as casting Stasis. The thing to remember is once you cast Stasis, you cannot use ammo or another Stasis spell until the first one lands and disables the tower. So if you unload a bar of ammo and then cast Stasis, your ammo can regenerate while Stasis is disabling the tower. Once it disables the tower, you'll have a full bar of ammo to unload again and then cast Stasis one more time, hopefully before that spell of Chrono Shift ends, the cloak, and you can recast Temporal Anomaly to teleport back at that point to avoid taking damage, and hopefully you will be out of range of any non-disabled towers, and the only thing that will be left will be the towers that are affected by Stasis, allowing you to slowly fly over them until your spells are off cooldown. Now, that may have sounded a little confusing, so if you had trouble following that, it may be beneficial to rewind it and potentially pause it step by step so that you can keep track of what is happening in the imaginary flying of this dragon. I think this will take some skill and timing as well as knowledge of how towers work and interact with dragons, but I don't think it will be quite as difficult as flying some dragons like Hasset. Now, the one thing to consider about this dragon is that the only way it has of destroying towers is by ammo. Now, yes, it does have the increased ammo regeneration, and it does have the increased breath attack damage once you've attacked a tower, so that might be enough to assist in bursting down towers. But this dragon will probably need significant attack damage for the runes, as well as an ammo rune if you have one available. This is actually one of the most ideal dragons for attack and ammo runes, similar to Nocturne from last season, who relies heavily on his ammo for damage. And finally, the last thing to point out about this dragon is his passive does increase his flight speed, so that may add a subtle challenge to this dragon, but it will also allow you to make up for the lost time from turning back Temporal Anomaly and having to make up the same ground again. This is an important factor to consider, especially in Atlas, because the outcome of the attack depends on how fast you complete the run. And I hope that the increased passive flight speed doesn't cause too much extra challenge and somewhat makes up for the extra time taken to turn back the waypoint and refly over those zones. So I am personally quite excited about this dragon. I think it will be a lot of fun to fly. Also, I really like the design and the look of this dragon, and who doesn't want a second Hasset in their roster? A little bit different, but a lot of similarities, and I'm excited to give it a try. All right, next we're going to talk about Lockjaw, the Ice Mythic Warrior for this next season. And I also like the design of this dragon. Looks pretty cool. Looking forward to seeing what it looks like in-game with the spell animations and such. So let's talk about the spells. So the first spell is Kingdom Scrap, which is an active white spell that cycles between two different spells. The first one costs 1 rage and will activate a shield and restore health. It will last 3 seconds and have a 4-second cooldown. The second cast will activate another shield, and at the end it will explode and deal damage, and also have a 4-second cooldown. And that second activation is actually at no rage cost. So the first activation costs 1 rage, the second activation is free. Next we have Iron Wind, which is an active white 2 rage spell that damages and freezes nearby towers, and those towers will take increased damage. The freeze effect will last for 4 seconds, and this spell will not have a cooldown, so this could be very useful, but if you cast it a second time before the first freeze effect ends, it will not refresh the freeze. So you have to wait until the freeze effect ends and the towers recognize you again, so it will require some very fast reflexes in order to chain on these freeze effects. The next spell is Tyrants Fury, which is an active blue 1 rage spell, which will restore rage on cast, and while active for the 3-second duration, will allow you to heal for destroying towers, and then will have a 6-second cooldown. And if you have 1 rage to use this spell, you will net an positive of 2 additional rage on top of it. It uses 1 and provides 3. Next is the Crusher, which is a damage boost to your breath attack, and it will increase your breath attack damage by 300% for a 2.5-second duration. And it does not appear to have a cooldown, so you can chain that on to allow you to burn through some towers quite quickly, as long as you're able to manage your rage. So when you come around the corner to face an island, it might be beneficial to have the second spell of Kingdom Scraps already activated, so you have a shield when you face the island in case you get hit, and you can have that explosive shield dealing damage right away. You would want to activate your Crusher spell and Iron Wind as you face the island so that you can freeze the towers and deal extra damage right away. If you can freeze the towers quick enough, the shield activation should be stopped. And with the combination of the increased damage from Iron Wind and the Crusher spell, you should be able to burn through some towers very quick, including the Blue Mage and the Storm Tower, so that Once those are destroyed, you can restore your rage with Tyrants Fury and not have to worry about the shield spell coming up. After that, you can continue to cycle through Kingdom of Scraps to provide yourself a shield and restore health in case you do take damage in between the freezes from Iron Wind. So I think this dragon is actually going to be quite strong, but the determining factor will be if you're able to chain on Iron Wind immediately after the first freeze effect ends, and if not, what towers are still active by the time that freeze effect finishes. If it is an ice flak and it gets a super shot off, or you get hit by a mage drain, then this will significantly inhibit your ability to defeat the island. And I really do hope I get a chance to try this dragon out, but I do not have confirmation yet if the creators faction will have the opportunity to play this dragon in the start of the season to make videos. As far as runes and riders, I believe that rage will be a benefit to this dragon because he does have high rage costs, and having that extra bar to use Tyrant's Fury or that extra little bit to get one more Iron Wind off could mean the difference for you. And then as far as HP goes, most warriors benefit from HP, but if you're really good at chaining on the freeze and you're able to continually activate Kingdom of Scraps for their shield, you might not need more HP, and you may feel like having some extra attack damage might help you burn through a few extra towers quicker on a longer island. So that will be something you'll have to test out and decide for yourself. So on paper, both of these dragons are actually looking pretty good to me, so I'm pretty excited about that. But we'll have to wait and see how they actually function in game, and hopefully I get a chance to test them out so I can share some gameplay with you so everyone has a little bit more information to use in deciding which dragons they would like to get. I know some people want to decide right away in this season so that they can claim some mythic gear from the Atlas season. So keep an eye out for more. Good luck at the start of this season, and I'll see you in the next video.